Some words about the Prince of Tides. This one? No, that one in the background. He's gentler. That's Puccini. Prince of Tides. Nick Nolte, Barbara Streisand. Barbara Streisand is the protagonist, even if Nick Nolte's character could be the considered the Prince of Tides. Barbara Streisand is the director and the psychiatrist of the motion picture, which is psychological mainly. We can say it's also love story, and interesting indeed. There's one newspaper or magazine, I forgot which, gave it 100 out of 100. So that means perfect movie. Well, I beg to differ. I mean, it was interesting. It was worthwhile to see it yesterday. One of the many film channels we have, alhamdulillah, today. But not overwhelming. It's also a question of having prejudice, preconceived ideas. I confess. Nick Nolte, when I say Nick Nolte, I have his face not in this movie or 48 Hours or wherever he was in flow, on the big way, on the rise, but the image of him with that big hair, envy maybe, there's no hair here, so all over the place and drunk and by the way, he was saying something rather philosophical. Even if he was destitute, he was at the bottom, reached an absolute nadir, drunk, dependent on alcohol, whatever, drugs, maybe. But said something about the reach behind, those that have nothing to do with. I was saying something deep, but he was deeply troubled also. So that's the image, and thinking of him as a bum, as the creme de la creme of the lower class, to say, doesn't make him credible anymore. And then Barbara Streisand, I've read about persona, which was magic, was stamina. Critics speaking of Prince of Tides, of her acting, that she's in control, she's marvelous, she's powerful, she has energy, vitality. They're perfectly right. And I remember seeing her in Yentl and being thrilled. But otherwise, in the classic of classics for Hollywood, one might say, Adventures in the Screen Trade. He regretted late, I think he died last year. May he rest in peace, William Goldman, screenwriter for wonderful movies, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, and The Sundance Kid, All the President's Men, Marathon Man, and more. Said many things about Redford, about Pakula, about Dustin Hoffman, and he has a passage with Barbara Streisand interfering in not night moves, but a Gene Hackman vehicle. Gene Hackman, one of the best 5 actors ever, and she came in and she practically spoiled the movie. Barbara Streisand taking the show for herself when it wasn't really called for. So anyway, otherwise the movie is rather good. It has everything. It has a background of insight, an insightful psychiatrist trying to get this poetess, Prince of Tides is the name of a poet, back to life because she's suicidal. She tries to kill herself, and then all helping the brother Nick Nolte in the process. There's rape in history. There's this terrible triple killing. No details, of course, I will not give you because that comes in the second part with some explanation. There's also a ridiculous moment which affected. At one point, Nick Nolte takes a Stradivarius, which belongs to the awful, terrible, villainous, despicable husband of the psychiatrist, Barbara Streisand, and hangs it over from the whatever floor it was, 50th, threatening to demolish it. And I thought that's preposterous. Why do that? I mean, what? Yes, it's $1 million, and the guy's like, oh, okay, I'll ask forgiveness. But why use that? To me, it was futile, preposterous, artificial. Anyway, otherwise, the film is good.